Hello. Hello. So, we're on another bin ball. What do you expect? Now I've been asked, a question that somebody asked me, would I ever have an electric car? Which is, fair enough, it's a valid question. Would I ever have an electric car? Actually, he said, would I ever have an electric car? And what do I think about them? Well, what do I think about them? I think they're a good idea, to be honest. Which may surprise you. I think they're a good idea as much as I think a chocolate cake, a mini, tiny chocolate cake with no sugar and no fat, as much as that's a good idea, which it is. However, you'd never see one of them sliding down my gob, would you? I think electric cars, they're a good idea, the same as wind farms are a good idea. I like to see wind farms. However, as much as they're a good idea, a wind farm, they produce, as we know, they produce a very tiny amount of electric. Tiny, tiny, tiny. I don't know what it was, 1% or whatever, or 1.5%. Doesn't matter if you've got hundreds, maybe 1,000, and they produce a tiny amount. It's such a shame. They don't really work. So they're a good idea. And yeah, of course, I wish they worked more. I really do. But they are a good idea. Same as that tiny chocolate cake or the tiny, tiny anything really. Same as electric car. It's a good idea. It's a great idea. What can I hear? Oh, a squirrel was taking the piss out of me. He was laughing. Anyway, the squirrel was laughing. Have you been licking while I've been looking for wildlife? So we've got a bit of autumn going on, a bit of yellow and not much else. A bit chilly today though, I am. Oh, we've got some lovely copper colours over there. Go over there and have a quick look. Yeah, so I think they're a great idea. I would be more interested, to be honest, with hydrogen than electric. The problem I've got with like these wind farms, these wind turbine things, you know, the arms, the spines, the splines, the fingers, the fans, the twirlies, they can't recycle them, and they're just sat, thousands of them, just sat waiting for man to think about what he can possibly do. Good morning, ducks. You alright? I got a dog there licking. Bode. Thank you. Yeah, so the arms, or the spindles, those are just sat around. Now what's going to happen is an electric car isn't a very green thing. We're told they're green. I think there's a green thing on the number plate. I'm not mocking anybody. If you've got an electric car, great. Especially if you've got solar panels. If you provide your own electric, then that's wonderful. You're saying bollocks, aren't you, to the big boys, the utilities and what have you. You're saying no thank you, I'll supply my own. Well, that's great and good for you. But they're not green. They're no greener than any other car. Maybe they're worse. When you look at how batteries are, the elements and components of batteries, how they get them, and then how they manufacture them, and they're not very green. Glorious colours there. Hiya. Morning. Yeah, glorious colours. Bode, don't you? Oh, you licked, you little menace. Now, where was I? Yeah, now what's going to happen, because they're fairly new, aren't they, really, these cars? There's thousands and thousands of electric cars that can't sell. They're very expensive, and I don't know why they're so expensive, but anyway, I've seen it, thousands and thousands of them parked up, that 3 biggish companies are no longer producing electric cars. If they can't sell them, what's the bloody point, you know? So they're not going to add more thousands to the already thousands that are sitting around. But the batteries cost a bloody fortune. Somebody told me £15,000 for a new battery. Well, yeah. Anyway, so because they're all new, all the batteries are going to expire around the same time, which I believe is 5 to 10 years, depends on how you drive. So in about 8 years from now, you're going to have many thousands of batteries like the wind turbines that nobody knows what the hell to do with. Bodie, you dirty boy. So they were just sat around, they're going to be sat around, and what do you do, you know? It can be dangerous, really. So they're not very green, they're not very good for the planet. But glorious colours there, look. We'll have a quick look at this beautiful tree. Yeah, so I think they're a good idea. Also, there's not enough electric. Now, the government admitted that. Where would you put cables? How much? If everybody had an electric car, everybody was charging, could you imagine the state? Anyway, you'd have cables up and down streets, out of flat windows. You'd have multi-storey, you know, these blocks of flats, what do they call them, tower blocks and what have you. How the bloody hell would it, anyway, it wouldn't go on, would it? Of course it wouldn't, you know. So it's a bit of a fallacy. And it is a good idea, it's just not for me. But with anything new, or anything that people can beat you down a little bit, there's a nice colour. Like, you know, people that say, I'm a vegan. Well, great. Get a stake down your throat, see how you enjoy that. But we have like 0 emissions. And I upset them because I say, well, 0 fucks. I don't give a fuck, you know. So what? You do whatever you do in life. 0 emissions, I tell you. 0, oh, well, 0 fucks then. You probably find, of course, you know, diesel, petrol, oil, there'll be a thing of the past eventually, and probably in my lifetime maybe, or certainly, you know, certainly in the next 50 years, perhaps, you know. So there won't be such a thing. So we have got to find some kind of an alternative. I don't believe electric's the way to go. Certainly not now. Maybe in years to come, when they've sorted things out a little bit. Who knows? I always thought when I was a kid it'd be free, really, you know, travel. I thought that every road would have in the middle of the road like metal or magnets or whatever, then the car would have the opposite. If the road's metal, the car would be magnets. You're dirty today. Every 5 seconds, lick, lick, lick. And what you do, you just shove your car a little bit and jump in, and it will just follow this thing, this magnet or whatever, all the way down the motorway. And when you wanted to pull off, you just pull a lever, so that means you're no longer connected, and you steer off. You get on the slip road, whatever, that contains new magnets, and you turn the power back on, and you follow that. That's what I thought. Christ, bro, you're mental. I know. It was, you know, I was a child, but I still believe that. I still believe that somehow there's free power, you know. And I believe that we don't use enough of what we've got, whether it be solar, possibly wind. I don't think wind really does a lot, but I think wave power is the way to go. I think every stream, every river, every fly in my ear, every ocean, whatever, should be able to produce billions and billions and billions of megawatts of power. That we rely on. Well, we rely on what we're given and what we're told by the government, don't we, really? You know, your choice is blah 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 blah, and that's it, you know. But maybe, you know, not in my lifetime, but maybe in 100 years' time, we'll have a choice of 10 or 20 or 30 different ways of propelling vehicles, of heating homes, of using power, you know, to have our lights on, our computers and everything else. Maybe there'll be 20 different ways. I think there should be, and I think we've got the intelligent brains to kind of work that out. But at the moment we live in a world where only a certain number of companies rule the world, and Bode, come on love, and run the place. And honestly, if you said to them, oh look, do you know what, I could burn this twig and, you know, produce 1 million megatons of power, you know, they'd come and shoot me, wouldn't they? They wouldn't allow that. In fact, there was an aeroplane about 4 or 5 years ago, was it MH25? MH something or other, and it disappeared, if you remember, with 22 people on it. Well, it turns out these 22 people were scientists, and these 22 scientists had worked out a way of producing free power. It cost nobody anything, so I don't know how they did it, whether it's pushing air through something, some velocitator, what the, you know, or you push water through something, I don't know. Or was it an eternal, let's go back to the magnets, was it an eternal magnet? You spin it once and it spins for 1,000 years. Because you could do that as well. In a cylinder, spin a magnet and it's metal, metal, metal like that, and the magnet will go view, view, view like that. Oh, I think I'm inventing things here. Zero emissions, yeah, zero fucks. Anyway, it turns out that this MH25 or whatever had 22 scientists on. They'd worked out, or were working out, a way of producing free power forever. Well, they couldn't, could they? They could not allow that. These big companies who are making a fortune off of us, they could not allow that to happen. So they disappeared. And that's what would happen to me, you, or anybody else. If we worked, I'll tell you what, if we worked out a way of producing power, we disappear. If we worked out a cure for cancer, we disappear. If there was anything that people don't want, I mean, the normal people do want. I mean, people that are making a lot of money on the backs of us that perhaps they shouldn't. Look at this beautiful dog. Oh, look, he's gone the other way. He was just looking at me. Bode, you okay? Hello. Hiya, darling. Hello. Oh, look at you. Oh, I love that boy. Really love him. Anyway, so on a quiet bimble, got another noise over there. It's so quiet here today, I can hear things like squirrels eating. Anyway, it's glorious. Yeah, it really is glorious. Nice to be out. Hello mate, I'm just looking at some leaves, see if there's any beautiful colours. We saw some orange and reds, but not enough reds. Hello. You're having a right laugh, aren't you? Anyway, hope you're enjoying your autumn as best you possibly can. And don't forget, if you can get outside, because it is glorious. At times, it's been wet, it's been miserable, it's been grey here. We've had another storm as I'm making this. Storm Debbie, so you know how old this video is, because you'll think, Storm Debbie, that was ages ago. Well, I've got 3 or 4 videos waiting in the wings. That's my boy. Look at you, I can see you. Hello. Yeah, it's always worth getting out if you can. But I'm not going across that, and nor are you actually, because it's water, and you won't be doing that, will you? See, there's a little bit of fleeting red over there, but I'm a bit obsessed really in seeing reds and purples, and I don't really get to see them very often. This is nice behind me. Lovely. It's a grey day, but it's at least you've got some warmth. So anyway, that's my thoughts really on electric cars. I have some friends, you know, with electric cars. Four friends, and I've got lots of friends, so that tells you there's not many about. In fact, I have 5 friends. No, I do know of 4 people. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I do know of 4 people who's got an electric car. One of them is my neighbour, and they swear by theirs. They love it, so that's great. The only thing is, they do have, they call it charging something or other. Not charging envy. Christ, what do they call it? Charging phobia or whatever. She panics and worries a little bit that, where's my next charge going to come from? You know, you can be guaranteed, can't you? A petrol station or garage, whatever you want to call it, is only a mile away, wherever you are. But to charge your vehicle, number one, it may take a number of hours, and where do you charge the bloody thing, you know? And can you sit in your vehicle, or sit with your vehicle, or stay with your vehicle for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it takes to charge? You know, if you're lucky enough to charge it, as I say, at home with your own solar panels, that's the way to go. But even with that, I suppose, you know, if you're using your car and suddenly you've got to travel for, I don't know, work or a family emergency or whatever, and you've got to do another 500 miles, well, in a car, you just say, yeah, no worries, you know. I say a car. In a car, you say no worries. Whereas your milk float, see, no, electric vehicles, they've been going a long time, because as a kid I can remember milk floats were electric, and golf buggies, they've always been electric, and There has been electric vehicles for a long time, but you're looking at industrial things like milk floats, you know, every night they put them on charge, and you know, quite costly really when you think about it. But anyway, yeah, my thoughts really, if you want to go for it, go for it. They're very expensive, I know, to buy a milk float, sorry, an electric car. Must stop calling them milk floats. So yeah, they're very expensive to buy. The batteries every few years is like, I don't know, whatever, six or 8 grand. I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't have that sort of money. But I started off the video saying I think they're a good idea. They are. I think any alternative form of power, of energy, of vehicles or whatever, I think anything has got to be worth looking into. I don't know whether we should be producing them when we haven't really got the means to run them, i.e. power. As I say, if everybody had a vehicle, we wouldn't be able to run them, you know, electric vehicle. But there may come a time, you know, I will run my vehicle, which is petrol. I will run my vehicle until it goes into the ground, probably, you know, until it's knackered. And then you have to buy, if I'm capable of driving by then, you have to buy whatever's out there, you know. So if it's only electric, if that's your only choice, then yeah, of course I'll buy an electric vehicle one day, possibly. If, as I say, if I'm able to drive and what have you. But no, I don't. It's not for me. I wouldn't want to worry where my next going to charge, you know. I couldn't have that in my life. Good God. Driving should be a pleasure. For me, driving should be a pleasure. Driving should be relaxed and calm. It should be about me finding somewhere to go for a bimble, you know. I mean, I don't go to work. But anyway, just my thoughts. Now the other thought for today, David Cameron. Christ, do you remember? If you're a long time viewer, you'll remember me calling him Wanky Moonface, because that's what he is. Oh, this bloody woman.
Hello again.
Hiya. Yeah, old Wanky Moonface is back. People are moaning, right? They're saying he's back in government, and they're saying, oh, but he's unelected. Well, so is the Prime Minister. The weakest, wishy-washy, pointless twat of a Prime Minister. That's how he's going to go down in history books. Richie bloody Sunak. What a waste of space. And to give him some gravitas, he's decided to go for some reject. Some pig fucker called David Cameron. That disgusting animal. Fancy going for that, of all people. Fancy bringing that back from the dead. Anyway, this is the world we live in. Oh, that's nice. You see, so we end on something nice. Look at that. Okay, whatever you're doing, enjoy your day. We'll be back another day. Take care. Be well.